about paying tax on the money that I'm earning from reselling, Kev? Have I got to pay tax? Have I got to tell the tax man? That is the most frequent question that I'm getting at the moment. Loads of people are asking me about it. So what I'm going to try and do is shed some light on it for you, because people are obviously worried, they're confused, they're concerned, they don't know what to do. Let's see if we can clear it up in basic terms. Now, caveat, I'm not an accountant, I'm not a bookkeeper, a tax expert, a financial advisor, or anything like that. So this video is just going to be about my own personal experience. I've been self-employed for decades, so I'm used to filling out tax returns and doing self-assessment. But if you're not, if you're on PAYE, for example, or you're retired, you've never done it before, understandably, it's a grey area for you. So let's try and clear it up a bit in basic terms. Now, I'm in the UK, so I can only speak for the tax situation in the UK. But basically, any money that you earn, the tax man wants to know about it. Any money that you get in, he wants to know about it. Whether you've got a job and you're working for somebody, you're on PAYE, whether you're retired and getting your state pension, whether you're on benefits, and whatever it is you're doing to get income in, reselling, cleaning people's windows, cutting their grass, whatever, it doesn't matter. If you've got income coming in, the tax man wants to know about it. Now, the situation varies from person to person, obviously. Okay? It totally depends on your circumstances. There's a tax threshold that you can earn. You can earn money before you start paying tax, but you've still got to tell the tax man about it. Okay? So let me give you an example. If you're on the state pension in the UK at the moment, you've got no other income coming in, you haven't got to pay tax on it. All right? Because it's under the threshold for a single person like me. I don't know what it is for married couples. You'll have to look into it. Get in touch with a tax man. I'll come on to that in a minute. So, using the same example of somebody that's on a state pension, if you then start earning money from doing something, okay, like reselling, it's likely going to take you over the tax threshold, which means, I think that's £12,000 at the moment, as I say. But so that means that money that you earn over that, you're going to have to pay tax on. All right? The tax man wants to know about it, and he wants his cut, and he won't be happy if he doesn't get it. And as I said before, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Any income that you've got coming in. So if you're a pensioner and then you start earning money on top of your pension, the likelihood is that you're going to have to pay tax on those profits or the money that you've got coming in. Somebody commented on one of my previous videos, I think it was the last one, Kev, you forgot to mention that you've got to register with HMRC if you're reselling and earning money. And he's absolutely right. I don't know if I mentioned it in the video. I might not have been talking about that subject, but I am now. So yes, you're going to need to register with a tax man and tell them what you're doing. But you don't need to be scared about it. Okay? We've all got to pay tax. Even if you've got a normal job. Okay? We have to pay tax in the UK on our money that we earn. Somebody else said to me, Kev, eBay asked me for my national insurance number and that killed it for me. I'm not doing it anymore. Okay, well, that's your decision. But why do eBay ask for your national insurance number? Well, the reason is because the tax man's told them to. The tax man wants your details. He wants to be able to check up, make sure that you're owning up to what you're earning. You're declaring what you're earning. That's why eBay want your national insurance number. And that same person also said that, as far as he's concerned, a lot of private sellers are stopping selling on eBay for that reason, because they don't want to have to pay tax. What can I say? If you don't want to pay tax, don't sell on eBay. Don't go out cleaning windows or earning money elsewhere. If you don't want to pay tax, that's it. There's no way around it. Someone else said to me, Kev, I'm only doing it as a hobby, so I'm not a business seller on eBay, so I don't have to pay tax, I don't think. Well, sorry to give you the bad news, but it doesn't matter whether you're registered on eBay as a private seller or a business seller. You have to pay tax on money that you earn. And the tax man will find out about it if you don't declare it. Doesn't matter. If you're earning money, you've got to pay your percentage of tax on it. Now, as far as reselling goes, you pay tax on your net profit. Okay, so not on what you sell stuff for, not on the overall selling price, which is the gross income, your gross revenue. Because out of that, you've got business expenses. Like, for instance, you bought the thing in the first place. You don't pay tax on that. Other expenses, again, I'm not an accountant, talk to an expert, but you're just paying tax on the net profit, the amount you've earned out of that item or those items after all your expenses, your buying costs, your packaging, all that sort of stuff. That's what you pay tax on, your percentage of tax. That's what you pay it on, not on what items have sold for. On the other hand, somebody else said to me in the comments, over the last couple of years, we've become so profitable that we've gone over the threshold and now we've got to start paying tax. He said, but it doesn't bother me because I'm earning enough money out of it. And that's how business works. It doesn't matter what business you're in, as I say. If you don't want to pay tax, you ain't going to earn any money. If you want to earn extra money, you're going to have to be prepared to pay tax. Let me say again, get advice from an accountant or even HMRC. In fact, they're the best people to get advice from because it's free. We've all got different personal tax allowances depending on our situation. So just get in touch with HMRC. I've always found them brilliant whenever I've been on the phone to them. Tell them what you're doing, all right? Give them some numbers and they'll be able to say to you, well, as long as you stay under this amount, you're okay in your situation. But what you're telling me, you've gone over it. So yes, you're going to have to declare and pay tax on that amount. Phone HMRC. And this situation about eBay asking for your national insurance number and that you've got to pay tax if you're selling on eBay, that's not unique to eBay. It doesn't matter where you're selling, whether you're selling on Vinted, Facebook Marketplace, Etsy, whatever. You've got your own website. It doesn't matter. The message is coming across here, hopefully. If you're earning money, the tax man wants his share. You've got to own up and pay the amount that you're due to pay. And if you don't provide the information to selling platforms, then the most likely thing they're going to do is limit your account or even stop you from selling on there if you're not prepared to give your tax details. It's important that if you're reselling, that you keep a good record of your income and expenditure. All right. The income part, if you're selling on eBay, is fairly easy because you get statements from eBay. The money goes straight into your bank account. So it's very easy to work out at the end of the tax year how much money you've made from eBay or what income you've had coming in from eBay. All right. But you also need to keep a record of what you're spending. I mean, expenses that aren't included in eBay, like the selling fees, that'll all be shown in the statement. But stuff like the purchase price of your goods, what you've actually paid for them, how much you've paid for bubble wrap, paper, boxes, packing materials, postage if you're not doing postage on eBay. If you are, that will be calculated in your statement as well. So you need to keep these records so that when you speak to the tax office, you can say to them, for example, I've sold £2,000 worth of stuff on eBay this year. I paid £1,000 for it and I've spent £300 on packaging materials and paper. This is very, very basic. All right. Well, the difference between that is what you've got to pay tax on at whatever percentage you're at. Probably it will be the basic tax rate, which is, I think, 20% at the moment. But again, it differs for everybody. But that's how you do it. You pay your tax on the net profit. And look, the thing is here, you know, paying tax can be daunting, and yes, we'd all rather not do it. But that's the laws in the country. We've got to do it. But don't let it stop you from making money. Don't let it stop you from reselling. Yeah, because reselling is, I mean, it is about making money, but it's also a great hobby for some people and a great part-time or full-time income for some people. And, you know, the buzz of going out there and finding the stuff, researching it, selling it, packing and posting it, it's all part of the whole thing. So, I mean, a lot of people say to me, I'm not going to do it, Kev, because I've got to pay tax on it. Well, okay, fair enough. I can't do anything about that. I can't help you with that. But I can't see the mentality of people that say that they're not going to do something and earn money because they've got to pay a bit of tax on it. That's just me. But then again, as I say, I've been self-employed for decades, so I'm used to it. I mean, you wouldn't expect to go and get a job at wherever, Sainsbury's or Tesco's, and say I'm only doing it if I haven't got to pay tax, have you? Come on. This is what we're talking about. Now, as I said when I started the video, this is just to shed some light for you on the situation, and hopefully I've done that. My message is, if you're earning money reselling or doing anything else, you've got to pay your tax. You've got to tell the tax man, you've got to own up and just pay the percentage of tax that you're due to pay. And feel free to enter your experiences or tips or whatever about paying tax for resellers in the comments if you want. Other people, I'm sure, would like to read them and it might help them out a bit more. But that's my advice. Please speak to somebody who is an expert in tax if you want detailed advice. And in my opinion, the best person to go to is the taxman, HMRC. I hope this has been a bit helpful for you, this video. Feel free to ask questions. And don't forget, if you are new to the game, I've made a little guide. It's free, the beginner's guide to selling second-hand goods. There's a link to it in the description. You can get that if you want it. And get in touch with me if I can help you any more. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.